trying to find the right way to bring this information if it's the right thing to do. It, from our perspective here, it it relates to it. We've been making videos about essentially about India, but we have but it applies here too. Um, Part of what we haven't made that we really haven't made videos about, like we made satiric videos. We made videos when we sort of like took this into, and we were with the Russian, my friend the Russian. We were being satiric about things, but we never did make any videos about the planet. Not really, you know. And last night we said something. We mentioned we really haven't. And the thing is, like, I'll turn this off. I mean, I could just shut up. Nah, I want to fill in. It doesn't make much sense to make a video where what I'm was basically explained to the sort of like unaware, because it's not taught, was kind of about the what physical economy is, particularly for people who are even younger than I, living in an era where they may not. Why would they be aware that it's only in my lifetime to people my age that a movement started unprecedented in the history of industrial capitalism. Nothing familiar, certainly nothing to do with like what it's some kind of a reorganization of capitalism, like of that to call it for a younger generation to perceive like our system is now called this capitalism. Like, well, it's a very strange reorganization of capitalism that involves things that are not familiar to someone who's a capitalist. I grew up around capitalists. Like, this is not familiar. A prejudice towards financial capital and the removal of controls on the movement of capital in and out of the country. That is a move by a sector of capital, a move coordinated with think tanks, graduate school departments of economics, aligned with a certain part of our capitalist class that reorganized everything to one prejudice financial capital, abandon the real economy, and remove controls on movement of capital in and out of the country to the degree that 90% of the capital moving in international exchanges is unrelated to the physical economy of any country. That's brand new. That's brand new. It is. But because of the effects it's having on the planet, the way it's having an effect on the planet, and we'll get back to the way it's having an effect on the planet is not necessarily obvious, but what's interesting is that it's not necessarily, people come to different conclusions because there's so much happening to the planet that people are that there's not enough. Some people are focused on what's taking place with the water. Some people are. I mean, there's enough different things that are like of a catastrophic nature happening on the planet that like one. You don't just it's so many things. And I'm saying, like, when people were the those who those who hear who are in those who are in the investor class who become aware that there are movements trying to stop corporations that do things that would tend to harm the planet, our planet. That it's often but the psychological experience is that it's some kind of, I don't know, it means they don't, it's some kind of tree huggers or something. I mean that it's that's not entirely that they're convinced. They may be hearing from people who think we are just going to be that someone who's some kind of idealist or doesn't live in reality, or that, I mean, that is the position of the sort of part of the investor class that's been sort of like uninitiated into like what actually is happening in a way that like would interrelate with what's happening with India being a good example of something, of a tragedy of something, and the tragedy here too. Matter of fact, nationalists in all countries are in a sort of perceiving an unfolding tragedy. The thing is this, and hey, look, we have lots of ways of presenting this. We don't know who we're talking to. We don't know who the main audience is. That's how we've done this. I'm telling you, what people like me, where we're looking from. Part of the problem is this: that while the kind of capital formations that are doing what they're doing to the planet and the effect that's having on human beings, okay, the fact is that they don't, number one, they don't resemble any previously known capital formation that would exist in a free market, partly because one of the most genocidal ones is entirely subsidized by us and is essentially like a part of the state apparatus. It was the entire agro sector in our country that no one, that's not a normal, that's not a normal it's not a normal domestic capital formation, partly because it operates transnationally and is in strategic alliance with other capital formations like it. And what makes it unique is we pay for it. That is, I mean, it's entirely state subsidized entity that is so large that it's just a bit, it's a more perfected version. Oh well.